starts right now.
Hi there, good morning. It is Thursday, and it sounds weird out loud, February 29th.
That's right. It doesn't happen too often. So if you are celebrating a birthday today, enjoy it and happy birthday.
Happy Leap Day. We're going to have more on that coming up in this newscast.
Yeah, but for now, let's check in with Justin because we had a cold start. I mean, we were getting used to some warmer temperatures and, you know, here we are again.
We needed one more day in February to make it feel like February. And today is that day. That cold front came through yesterday, mid-business, brought very gusty winds. We saw winds gusting over 40 miles per hour. And today it's just cloudy and chilly, and it will stay that way most of the day. I want to show you the big picture first across Texas. And what you'll notice here is there's snow flying now across the Texas panhandle. We're going to take a look at some video from up there coming up in just a few minutes. Of course, they've been dealing with wildfires. Now it's snowing. Go figure. And then some cold rain for places like Dallas and parts of West Texas. For us, we're not really seeing any precipitation. It's not to say we couldn't see a sprinkle or two, but mainly it's just clouds. And you see that blanket of clouds over us. 47, wind chill's 42. New Braunfels at 47, wind chill 41. And right now in Bernie, feels like 37 if you factor in that light northeasterly wind. Winds have lightened up, but there's still a little bit of a breeze, so wind chill will be an issue most of today. Noontime, 50 degrees. We make our way up to 51 this afternoon. Just a 10% chance of rain, that's it. And if you're hoping for some sun, we'll get you some tomorrow. Sun comes out, temperatures rebound into the 70s and near 80 this weekend. We'll take a look at that forecast again. We'll look at Amarillo, show you some of that snow up there too, coming up in just a few minutes. But let's get over to RJ now. It has been a busy morning.
Yeah, very busy morning. So some good news for our drivers on the southeast side. They have cleared out that crash that we saw from earlier this morning that had blocked both sides of northbound and southbound 37. So we're going to talk about that here in just a bit. But the pressing thing that we're seeing right now is actually on the northeast side right now as we're looking at 35 northbound at O'Connor. You see a lot of congestion here, a lot of construction. This is our southbound traffic coming in towards your direction, northbound traffic. There is a crash there being reported on the northbound lanes there at O'Connor Road on the northeast side. So traffic has been backed up all the way to Randolph Boulevard as you get closer to 410. So keep this one in mind if you're headed out northeast side right now. 35 northbound at O'Connor Road. We have got a pretty significant backup there. And actually, we're going to go a little bit south here. 35 southbound at Eisenhower Road. We have a stalled vehicle, not causing any major delays in that area. But again, you can see some of the congestion and the delays there from that crash there at 35 at O'Connor. All right, so we're talking about 37 and Fair Avenue. So we have a TxDOT still reporting maintenance here in this area. You see a little bit of delay right now. Again, we were talking about that crash from earlier this morning that was affecting both the southbound traffic and northbound lanes. There was a driver on the southbound lanes that struck an overhead sign that was actually over the northbound side of traffic. So that's how we're going to see some continued maintenance in this area. But again, good news is that traffic is starting to move along in both directions there. But again, it could be a while before they clear out all that maintenance there because of that overhead sign. Everything else across the city is looking pretty good this morning. And again, there's been just a lot of activity throughout the entire area. So that's good that we're seeing most of the city moving along pretty smooth in terms of traffic. So we'll continue to follow the latest on this crash here, 35 northbound at O'Connor. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ.
Here's today's 9 at 9.
Today, both President Biden and former President Trump will be visiting the U.S.-Mexico border. Biden will be in Brownsville and Trump will be in Eagle Pass. Both have very different ideas on how to address the growing migrant crisis. We have crews in both cities and will be live streaming both visits.
The Smokehouse Creek fire has burned nearly 1 million acres, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service. With one reported death so far, this is the second largest in the state history, and it's still growing. Firefighters say the threat will continue for days.
The U.S. is considering airdrops of aid into Gaza. It comes as the humanitarian crisis there worsens and critically needed assistance fails to reach the people in the war-torn strip. According to the UN, more than 2 million people in Gaza are at imminent risk of famine. Top U.S. officials have also called on Israel to open additional passages to allow aid to enter Gaza.
Congressional leaders plan to use a stopgap plan to keep the government open this weekend. They have agreed on a continuing resolution and will hold votes on 6 long-term appropriations bills next week. The continuing resolution gives them until March 22nd to finalize the 6 bills.
2023 ended on a strong note for the American economy. The Commerce Department now says the country's gross domestic product grew at 3.2% annual rate. That was down, though, from a hot summer when the economy was growing at a nearly 5% rate.
Boeing now has 90 days to come up with plans to fix what the FAA calls systemic quality control issues. Federal regulators are setting the new deadline after a door plug flew off mid-flight from a relatively new 737 MAX 9 jet.
The FDA says certain types of forever chemicals will no longer be used in U.S. food packaging. Materials like fast food wrappers, microwave popcorn bags, and pizza boxes were a major source of exposure to certain types of PFAS. The hormone-disturbing chemical has been linked to a variety of health effects, including certain cancers.
An executive order to protect your personal information. President Biden has issued an order to restrict sales of Americans' personal data to China, Iran, North Korea, and Russia. The White House says the order targets businesses or individuals who collect health, financial, and other information.
Today is Leap Day. Our calendar has 365 days, but it actually takes 365.25 days for the Earth to orbit the sun during a leap year. In the 1500s, Pope Gregory XIII created a new calendar with February 29th as the official leap day. It established an extra day in every year divisible by 4, but only in century years that are evenly divided by 400. If that's too confusing, just remember in the U.S., leap year typically coincides with presidential elections. And that's today's 9 at 9. Speaking of politics, a big political showdown with the U.S.-Mexico border as a backdrop. President Biden and former President Trump both set to speak today, separated by only 300 miles. President Biden is expected to touch down in Brownsville in just a matter of hours.
Daniela Ibarra is there in Brownsville covering his visit for us. And Daniela, do we know what the president's plans are?
Yeah, Stephanie and Mark, we know that President Biden is going to speak with Border Patrol agents, law enforcement, and local leaders. He's also going to make remarks here at the Border Patrol station in Brownsville. Now, let me tell you, we talked to a couple of people here in Brownsville who didn't even know the president was coming, but they say they're pleasantly surprised that he picked this border town to visit. Now, this visit, it comes during a lull in migrant crossings in the region. Border Patrol numbers from January show there were just over 7,000 migrant encounters in the Rio Grande Valley. During Biden's trip, a White House official tells us he'll get a briefing on border security. We're also told the president will use this trip to push the bipartisan border security bill. And that's what he's going to do here. And that bill, by the way, it includes $20 billion for border security.
Daniela, let's talk a little bit about what people in Brownsville hope that the president takes away from this visit.
Yeah, well, we spoke with people at the International Bridge, which, let me tell you, it's like a way of life. People use it to go to work, to go to school, to go shop. And they say that they hope the president really gets to understand what life is like here on the border. One woman who voted for President Biden, she says she's frustrated that he hasn't accomplished some of the promises he made, and she wants him to come up with solutions for the number of migrants that we're seeing cross over. We also spoke with the Cameron County Sheriff yesterday. He says he's looking forward to the opportunity to speak with the president today to talk about how it's impacted his department. And we also know that migrant advocate here, she says that she wants President Biden to see that the border isn't as chaotic as some might think it is.
And Daniela, tell us again, who is joining the president today?
Yeah, well, we know Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is going to be here, and he was just in Eagle Pass a month ago visiting with Border Patrol agents there. We also know that Mayor Ron Nirenberg, San Antonio's mayor, he's going to be here today. He wants to talk about how the migrant crisis has impacted the city of San Antonio. We are expected to speak with him later today after he speaks with the president. And I also want to point out that Sheriff Javier Salazar, Bexar County Sheriff, he was invited to come here today, but the sheriff's office tells me he had scheduling conflicts, so he declined the invitation.
All right, Daniela Ibarra live down in Brownsville. Thank you. Meanwhile, former President Donald Trump will be in Eagle Pass today, and KSAT's John Paul Barajas is there covering his visit.
So he shows us what he's seeing and hearing around town ahead of Trump's visit.
We're just outside Shelby Park, where former President Donald Trump is expected to speak a little later this morning. It's tough to see exactly what the setup looks like from out here, but the added fencing and military vehicles at the entrances of Shelby Park is a reminder of its role in the immigration debate. Now, we were here shortly after the state took control of Shelby Park in January. Since then, federal agents say they have been denied access by Texas National Guard soldiers. And earlier this month, Governor Greg Abbott announced plans for a Texas National Guard base camp. That came after record-breaking numbers of crossings in December, but that number dropped by about 50% in January. All that being said, we asked those who live here what they think about the former president coming to town.
I really don't care for him. You know, as a person, I don't care for him. As a voter, I wouldn't vote for him for anything.
You don't think there's any benefit from him visiting?
No, not at all.
I'm actually glad that he is coming and showing that he cares about the people in small communities that are being hit big with illegals coming through their city.
Both those Eagle Pass residents you just heard from asked to remain anonymous, and we will be here throughout the day and bring you the latest in the former president's visit, and also hear from the Eagle Pass Border Coalition. In Eagle Pass, John Paul Barajas, KSAT 12 News.
So Daniela has President Biden's visit covered in Brownsville, and John Paul Barajas will be in Eagle Pass to cover Trump's visit. We plan to live stream both events, so we don't know exactly when each of them could speak, but it's supposed to be sometime this afternoon. President Biden is tentatively scheduled for 3:30 p.m. That's according to CNN. So stay with us on air and online as things unfold throughout the day.
Going to be a very busy news day, but KSAT has you covered. Right now, 9:09, 47 degrees, still ahead on GMSA at 9.
So things will be looking a lot different in Florida come spring break, especially for college kids planning on visiting the beaches. Up next, why some places won't let 21-year-olds drink.
Plus, Wendy's is responding to a lot of criticism about their dynamic pricing plan, and they're trying to clarify what they meant after people accused them of price surging. David Sears has those stories and more in your morning headlines. In your morning headlines, a legal case against former President Donald Trump will be delayed, and Miami Beach won't be the spring break party place it has been in the past.
Plus, Chick-fil-A has a recall going on, and Wendy's has a little egg on her face. David Sears is here with your morning headlines.
You haven't been spring breaking already, have you?
No, sir. No. I
Early.
haven't been spring baking either.
That could happen in a couple of weeks. We'll get all that. That's kind of interesting stuff in just a second. But first, we'll start with this. At least one of the several court cases involving former President Donald Trump going to be delayed because the U.S. Supreme Court announced they will decide if the former president can claim presidential immunity in the January 6th case accusing the president of elections interference. The court will not hear oral arguments until late April. Then the ruling won't be announced until sometime in June unless they expedite that process. If not, after all the back and forth between lawyers and judges, the trial could be delayed until we are in the thick of the general election campaign. No reaction from special counsel Jack Smith on the decision by the Supreme Court. And another note concerning the former president, a judge in Illinois has ruled that Trump should be taken off the primary ballot in that state, going along with Colorado and Maine. The Trump team said they will appeal, claiming it's unconstitutional. That's another decision in front of the Supreme Court. They have already heard oral arguments about whether or not removing the former president is unconstitutional, but we are still waiting on their ruling. If you are headed to Miami Beach or know someone who is for spring break, police and the mayor are warning that things are going to be a little different this spring break. In the past few years, the party place got out of control. Just last year, 2 deadly shootings, 600 arrests, give or take a few. Their slogan at the time, come on vacation, don't leave on probation. Now the slogan is, we're breaking up spring break. They are making it clear they are not putting up with that out of control stuff this year.
Come here, enjoy, but don't come here looking for trouble. We've had enough.
We won't allow is for people to come here, disrupt our way of life, ruin it for the residents who live here, and ruin it for people who just want to come here and have a good time.
All right, so they're going to increase patrols, but that's just the beginning. You got to see some of the moves that they're making. So now there is a midnight curfew, Miami Beach, increased DUI checkpoints, not a big surprise there, $100 parking garage rates, and beach access is going to close at 6 o'clock in the evening. Fort Lauderdale businesses are going to raise the drinking age to 23 for out-of-state visitors. So they are clamping down this spring break. All right, a quick warning for Chick-fil-A. If you are one of their continued, what do you want to call it? Continued restaurant users?
Customers?
Yeah, customers. Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Frequent diners?
Yeah,
Friends,
diners.
Chick-fil-A friends.
Okay, if you like their Polynesian sauce, throw it away. Allergy concerns. The fast food chain says the cups may contain wheat and soy allergens. So if you hand did those dipping containers from February 14th to the 27th, you want to get rid of them. The good news is no allergic reactions or illnesses have been reported. All right, another fast food chain getting some serious blowback. Wendy's going to try a new way to charge for their food called dynamic pricing. That's what they were planning on calling it. They were basing their pricing on popular items selling at certain days at the time, or certain times of the day. The CEO, in kind of a cryptic way, said they would try out the dynamic pricing and daypart offerings with AI-enabled menu changes and suggestive selling. Have no idea what that means, except they're going up on prices of big items during the peak of the day. That went over like a melted Frosty. They were accused of following Uber and their surge pricing during peak times. Wendy said that never was a phrase that we use. We never use surge pricing, and we're not going to start that kind of practice. So here's a retail analyst to explain it all for us.
When it comes to dynamic pricing, the price will change based on how much supply of that product exists. Surge pricing has to do with the time of day. So if there's more demand specifically for a time of day, you have that surge price, which ultimately means that price is probably going to increase. Dynamic pricing, the price could go either higher or lower.
What? Yeah, exactly. See, that didn't even explain it, did it? Did you get that?
No.
So, and that was what the CEO said. We're going to be giving coupons for surge time. So, in other words, if you're going to raise your price, I don't know, maybe it's the law. I have no idea. If you're going to raise your prices during a certain kind of day, just do it. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
I guess that's how you're supposed to do it, because now they just caught all kinds of grief.
Well, when we first reported this, the first thing I thought of was if Dave Thomas was still alive.
Oh, yeah.
He'd say, what are we doing?
What are we doing?
What are we doing here? But the fast food business is tough. There's a lot of competition and fewer dollars going around to share.
A lot of competition, and inflation is not helping.
Yeah, that's true.
The price of everything has gone up, so they're trying to figure out a way to make some money and stay in business.
I love the melted Frosty reference.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Dave. 918, 47 degrees.
Well, let's look out there with live cam. Very cold this morning. Maybe not the day for a Frosty. Not today.
Maybe not. Tomorrow, though. Tomorrow
maybe.
you can go grab the Frosty, as long as the prices don't go up. As we look at the current wildfires across the state, we got to mention this because, of course, we were talking about those fires up around Amarillo. They're still going. These are massive, massive wildfires, okay? Especially the Smokehouse Creek fire. It's an estimated 850,000 acres and only 3% contained. Two other fires there at 142,000 acres and 30,000 acres, respectively. So just big problems. But here is the good news. There is precipitation falling on this area now, and it's in the form of snowfall in this case. But this is going to help firefighters fight these fires, and I think they'll get at least a little better handle on it today. And that is good news. Now, if you were curious, the largest wildfire in Texas history was the East Amarillo Complex fire in a very similar spot. It burned 907,000 acres back in 2006. So we're getting close here to one of the largest fires in Texas history. Now, here is sort of the incredible part about all of this. Of course, it was near 90 when these fires started, very gusty winds. Now it is snowing in these areas, so the snowfall should actually help these fires. This is from KSAT. This is Interstate 40 up near Amarillo, where it is snowy this morning. That is Texas weather in a nutshell, right? This time of year, a little bit of everything. We're seeing some cold air, but not like that. We may see a few sprinkles today, but we're not expecting much in the way of rainfall. All that action is to the north, and there you see the snow around Amarillo. It's coming down pretty good right now as this low swings through the state. Now, this will move out of here pretty quick, and once it moves out of here tomorrow, it'll take a lot of the cloud cover that we're seeing here with it. Authority radar quick check. As I said, there's just not much out there. We're not seeing really anything in the way of rain. It's just cloudy, and temperatures are chilly. 47 degrees at the airport. Wind chills 42. 46 in Seguin, 43 Bernie. Wind chills are generally in the 30s and 40s. There's still a bit of a north wind, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Some gusts up around 22 miles per hour, for instance, in New Braunfels. So it still could be breezy. It's just not going to be windy like it was yesterday, where we saw those gusts upwards of 40 miles per hour. Wind chill values, as I said, 30s and 40s for the most part. This is going to be jacket weather. You're going to see a wind chill most of the day. And our high temperatures, well, only around 51 or so here in San Antonio. A lot of places could potentially stay in the 40s. Now, the further west you go, the warmer the temperatures will be, because there will be some clearing out there, I think. As we get into tomorrow morning, we drop all the way down to 43. But then by tomorrow afternoon, sun comes out, temperatures warm up. We're around 72 for a high tomorrow. So that's the difference a day makes. And it's all because of this upper level low. So there's the edge of the clouds by 5 o'clock. But tomorrow, as it moves east, the clouds do indeed clear. And most of the state will be looking at sunny skies before we get a little bit of fog returning on Saturday. But still, the weekend looks good. So 72 tomorrow, 79 Saturday, 78 Sunday. We'll see some small rain chances come back into play Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but it will be much warmer. Guys.
Thank you. 921, 47 degrees.
As the rates of overdoses continue to rise, a new local program is helping those with substance use disorders find the help that they need. Tiffany Huertas tells us more about Be Well, Texas after the break.
Those overdose rates have continued to tick up across the country.
That's why healthcare professionals are meeting in Austin this week to discuss this issue and focus on identifying challenges and solutions for substance use disorders.
Tiffany Huertas explores a program in San Antonio guiding people to the resources they need to get help with substance abuse and how this health issue is affecting our community.
We want to save lives, but we also want to make sure that everyone that wants treatment can get access to treatment and that the treatment services that they receive are evidence-based. So the educational component of the symposium is very important.
Dr. Adrienne Lindsay is attending this year's Texas Substance Use Symposium.
We'll certainly have maybe a little more emphasis on opioid use disorder and stimulant use disorder, particularly because we're seeing a lot of overdoses in that area right now.
The symposium draws hundreds of healthcare providers, behavioral health professionals, peer recovery specialists, and even law enforcement.
We are still seeing an increase in overdose rates in Texas, about a 7% uptick in the last 12 months. So we had almost 6,000 overdoses in the last year. Fatal overdoses.
Dr. Lindsay is an assistant professor and works at Be Well, Texas, a statewide substance use disorder treatment program of UT Health San Antonio.
We've seen thousands of patients around the state and including hundreds of San Antonians.
The Be Well Texas Center also conducts research and provides education and training for providers.
There's still a lot of challenges around substance use disorders as a whole. Certainly treatment access can be a challenge. Provider education is also a challenge. So not all providers feel comfortable treating substance use disorders. And then there's still a lot of stigma as well.
This issue has also impacted Dr. Lindsay.
I've worked in this field about 20 years now, but I have lost people in my personal life, just like many others have.
While the challenges may look different across parts of Texas, Dr. Lindsay hopes people can learn from each other at this year's symposium.
I would love to be a part of getting us to a point where substance use disorders are treated like other health conditions and people know they can go to their doctor or go to the hospital and be treated with dignity and respect and get that evidence-based care.
Tiffany Huertas, KSAT 12 News.
And if you or someone you love is suffering with substance use disorder, there are cost-friendly and even free options out there. The number for Be Well Texas is 888-852-3955, or you can visit them online at bewelltexas.org.
Right now it's 927, 47 degrees. More ahead on GMSA at 9.
So to make the process less stressful for those of you who are in the market to buy a new car, we're going to speak with a Consumer Reports auto expert about their top auto picks and what you need to know before you make that purchase.
Plus, if you haven't noticed already, today is a day that only happens every 4 years. Coming up, we'll tell you why there is a leap year and the importance of it.
And as we head to break, you can still see huge problems there at I-37. We're going to be checking in with RJ after the break.
All right, welcome back. It's 9:30 right now, and you know what? There was a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel there for our drivers on the southeast side, but that is not the case because we have just learned that TxDOT is actually going to go ahead and shut down the main lanes of I-37 at Fair Avenue for an extended amount of time. I mean, I was told that the estimated amount of time may be about 7 to 8 hours. So right now we're looking at 37 at Hackberry, and basically further on down southbound lanes here at Fair Avenue, there was a truck that crashed into an overhead sign and caused some major delays earlier this morning, caused a lot of debris on the road. So what I was told by TransGuide is that they will now actually take down the sign. So they determined that the structural integrity is not good enough for it to stay up over that part of the highway. Actually, it's over the northbound lanes to give you an idea of where this is, but that's going to be the case here. So they're going to be working on this throughout the better part of the day. As we take a look at our camera here, 37 at South Cross, so you see that there was just no traffic getting through right now. Southbound lanes of 37, this is a little bit further up, and you see exactly where these TxDOT crews and these maintenance crews are now working on this overhead sign. This was a sign that was struck earlier this morning, one of the pillars there. Now, traffic northbound is moving at a pretty good pace now, but again, we now understand that traffic here, southbound 37, will be shut down for an extended period of time. Now, you do have some options here. South Bressa Street is an option if you want to get around this, but also if you want to take the access road before you hit Fair Avenue, they're going to let you get back on right after Fair Avenue, right before you hit South Cross Boulevard. Roosevelt also goes north and south in this direction here as well. So unfortunately, the news is not good for our drivers on the southeast side. Expect this closure to last for the better part of the day. Mark and Stephanie, back to you guys.
Thank you, RJ. Well, at least 5 wildfires burning in the Texas Panhandle and stretching into Oklahoma are now racking up historically big numbers.
The Smokehouse Creek fire has burned nearly 1 million acres, according to the Texas A&M Forest Service, with 1 reported death so far.
So this is the largest in state history, and it's still growing. Several people having to leave their homes and losing them to the fire.
Yeah, that fire just declared the largest in state history moments ago. CNN's Gloria Pazmino is in Fritch, Texas, north of Amarillo, with more.
Well, as you can see here, conditions are shifting rapidly. Even though we're getting this wintry mix, this fire is still burning. Now the second largest fire in Texas history. More than 850,000 acres of land have already been burned.
Why are you crying, Mommy?
I want your house.
You want your house? I know, baby. We'll get another house, okay?
The McCain family fleeing the flames of the fast-moving Smokehouse Creek fire, later returning to find their home in Fritch destroyed. The inferno killing 83-year-old Joyce Blankenship in her house, according to her family. The fire also torching scores of other structures and killing thousands of cattle. Ranchers fighting to save their land and livestock.
The biggest thing we lost was our grass. We did lose some cattle. Fortunately, it wasn't as bad as what you would think or what we had thought it would be.
Windy conditions and dry brush are fueling the growing fire, decimating 200 acres of land every minute.
It was really crazy, a lot of chaos, a lot of trauma, a lot of people displaced, and it was real sad.
Longtime Fritch resident Danny Williams helped a neighbor escape the flames.
He only had the shirt on his back and his dogs. He lost everything.
The fire, which started in Texas, has spread into Oklahoma. Governors in both states activating extra resources to try and stop the blaze.
Now, even though this is going to bring a little bit of moisture into the ground, conditions are going to change once again tomorrow. The temperatures are expected to rise and the wind will continue to pick up. That means the fire risk will likely continue into next week. We are in Fritch, Texas. I'm Gloria Pazmino. Back to you.
Just incredible there. Over 1 million acres burned now. So this is now officially the largest wildfire in Texas history. See the snow coming down. Hopefully that helps a little bit today, as Gloria said. But there are going to be some warmer temperatures coming up next few days. I want to show you the numbers across the state right now. It is 30 in Amarillo. Again, just wild swings in temperature and those gusty winds that you typically see this time of year, but that is helping to fuel the flames there. 32 in Lubbock. We're at 47 in San Antonio. Most of the state dealing with much cooler weather today and lots of clouds. There's a look at some of those clouds. they'll continue to stream across the area. We're not going to see much sun at all today, if any. Now, if you're out in Del Rio, you may see some Eagle Pass, but not here. And that will keep temperatures fairly cool. 50 degrees noontime, 51 at 3 o'clock, 51 our high temperature, and then just a very, very small chance of a sprinkle or two, 10% chance of rain. We fall back down into the 40s tonight. Clouds will clear tomorrow. It will get warmer and almost hot as we head into the weekend and next week. We'll take another look at the 7-day forecast for you here in just a couple minutes.
Justin, thank you for the update. Well, if you're looking to buy a car, Consumer Reports can help. They just released their annual must-see list of top new cars for 2024.
So joining us this morning to talk more about that is Deputy Auto Editor John Linkove from Consumer Reports. Good morning, John.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, John. All right, so let's talk about it. How do you guys figure out how Consumer Reports' annual list of top cars and brands?
Certainly. So what we do is we buy every vehicle we purchase just like you would. So we go to the dealer, we make the deal and bring the car in. We put on some 2,000 break-in miles. We put it through a battery of 50 subjective and objective tests, and that gives it a road test score. We figure in reliability, we figure in owner satisfaction and safety from the government and insurance industry, and that gives it an overall score. So the vehicles that rise to the top, perform well in all those categories, they tend to gravitate towards the top of our top pick list each year.
And a big deal for a lot of us, the price. So did price play a role in the rankings? And how are 2024 car prices comparing to the peak prices we saw in 2022?
Certainly. So price does factor in. We're not breaking it down by price, but we certainly look at vehicles that have a very affordable price. 6 of the top 10 picks are actually available for $30,000 or less, which really will help budgets, including a number of hybrid models. And overall, prices are down. The average new car price compared to previous years is down by a few $1,000s. It's small comfort to people when you're looking at a $46,000 or $45,000 average price for a new car. But still, there are many good models out there, if you do a little homework, that you can get for under $30,000 easily.
John, besides pricing, what were your biggest takeaways from this year's results?
Well, one of the big things is that hybrid vehicles and electrification in general is really coming on strong. So sales are up in 2023, 11% over the previous year, but hybrid sales are up almost 13%. So hybrids aren't the ones like you had maybe 5 or even 10 years ago where they were expensive. They didn't really give you a lot of fuel economy. They didn't make a good value. Now you can get models that they're easy to drive. They make good fuel economy, 35 miles per gallon in a SUV, up to 40 plus in a sedan. But they also are drivable. So you don't have a dog slow vehicle that, you're not really able to be confidently accelerating on a highway, for example. The Toyota Prius, the Toyota Camry, these are vehicles that they have a lot of zip, a lot of pep. So you can get up to 70, 75, 80 miles an hour easily without feeling like you're a rolling roadblock. So that's a big difference with hybrids today compared to the past.
And that's a lot to remember. So do you have any resources to help consumers weigh the pros and cons of all these options, including hybrids and EVs?
Well, certainly. So if you want to, you should definitely go to consumerreports.org or cr.org if you want to abbreviate it. That will give you access to our top picks list, the top brands list, and also all of our resources for things other than cars. So no matter what you're shopping for, you can find it on consumerreports.org.
John Linkove from Consumer Reports. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Right now it is 9:40, 47 degrees. You're watching GMSA at 9.
Look out there with live cams. Still fairly chilly for, this time of year, but I guess it's that extra day of February, kind of the extra day of winter. Enjoy that before we hit some warm temperatures. We'll be right back.
Enjoy today because it won't be back for another 4 years.
That's right. Our KSAT Explains team did an episode on leap years and why we get them, and it's actually really interesting.
We're sharing part of it with you this morning. Amira Arthur and our guest explain what would happen if we didn't have a leap year.
My name is Robert Castile.
I'm Raynell Dawn.
And I was born on February 29. 51 right now.
I'll be 64.
But their leap age?
I don't look a day over 16, do I?
13 years old, so I'm still a teenager. So I tell my wife that, hey, you're taking advantage, you cougar.
Almost every 4 years, we add one extra day to the month of February, giving us 29 days that month.
So how long it takes us to go around the sun is not exactly an even number of days.
This is Angela Speck. Her passion and profession is in astronomy.
The time it takes for the Earth to go around the sun is about 365 and a quarter days.
But as you might have noticed, our man-made calendar measures 1 year in 365 days even.
So what you get is 365 days for 3 years, and then you add 1 day on the 4th year so that then you're back where you started.
It's to make up for that fraction of a day that occurs every time the Earth makes a trip around the sun. You may not be an astronomy expert like Professor Speck, but you probably know that as the Earth orbits around the sun, our planet is also spinning. But get this, the axis the Earth spins on, so to speak, is spinning itself. Think of a spinning top. While the top itself is rotating really fast, it's also moving in a circular path as it spins. But that spin is going much slower than the top itself. That's what the Earth's axis is doing. It's why 1 year is not actually one full trip around the sun.
Less than that, about 20 minutes. And this has to do with keeping the seasons on track. That axis is actually ever so slightly spinning around. Okay, it's very slow. It takes 26,000 years for it to do a full orbit. But over the course of 1 year, it's moved just a little bit. And so what happens is, as you are going around the sun, you get back to the same position just ever so slightly before you've done one full orbit.
Without a leap year, the seasons would shift every year, just a bit. That may not make much difference in 365 days, but it does add up over time.
We look at our calendar and it would say one thing, and look outside and it would look like something completely different.
We would have spring in June instead of March. We would have winter in September, and so on. And so over time, the calendar would get messed up.
A leap day keeps things in check.
And again, a reminder, that was just part of the KSAT Explains episode. Myra goes on to tell us more about the history of it and introduces us to the Leap Day Lady.
The Leap Day Lady. So to see the full episode, head to KSAT.com. You can also scan the QR code you're seeing right there on our screen. So as we said before the piece, next Leap Day is in 2028, and then the next one is in 2032, 2036, and so on.
And I was trying to remember, the last one was 2020, I guess.
Yes.
But we were just starting the whole COVID situation.
Yeah,
so
there were other things to think about at the time.
Yeah, if memory serves. So,
Yes.
yes, we hope you're having a good Leap Day today. It is a little chilly. It's a little chilly as we wind down February and go into March, which promises to bring some warmer weather. We're going to start with the pollen, though, because a lot of people are asking about that. Where do we stand today after all those gusty winds yesterday? Well, interestingly enough, molds jumped to the top of the list, and the tree pollens actually went down. Molds are at 960 and moderate. Mulberry, elm, hackberry, and ash all low, but I would expect that these numbers will start to come back up here next several days. Also, we talked about leap year. Let's talk about the solar eclipse now, another exciting thing, which, by the way, we talked to Dr. Speck there at UTSA about this as well. We're going to have some stories with her coming up. But 39 days away now, and here's your fun fact for today. Solar eclipses will come to an end in about 600 million years. Did you know that? Due to the tides on Earth and the slowing down of the Earth's rotation, the moon will be too far away from the Earth, and we will no longer have solar eclipses. So we're right at the right time. Of course, it's 600 million years away, but interesting to know that it is just perfect the way it sets up size of the moon and the sun and the Earth, and it's going to be such a cool event coming up in 39 days. All right, satellite picture shows we got a lot of low clouds, we got high clouds over top of that, so it's just a cloudy day. I don't expect that to change. You're not going to see sun today, but there is plenty of rain up across parts of North Texas. We're just not seeing it here. The good lift is up here around Dallas and Amarillo, where they're seeing snow, and Lubbock. Down here, it's just the cloud cover, and this storm system will push east today, taking all that rain with it. There's the clearing line. So parts of our viewing area could see some sun this afternoon, but not here in San Antonio. It's going to take until tomorrow, I think, for these clouds to clear out. And when they do, we get some sun. Temperatures will be much warmer on your Friday. In fact, we'll jump up into the 70s. By Saturday morning, moisture starts to return a little bit. We may start to see some fog redeveloping, but it won't last very long. Right now, we've got 47 with northerly winds at 10 miles per hour. That puts the wind chill in the low 40s. 42 is what it feels like here in town. 43 in Uvalde. 36 is the current wind chill in Lost Maples. And out in Gonzales feels like 44. And jackets will be needed all day long, 50 noontime. If we're lucky, we'll get up into the low 50s this afternoon, 51. And then tonight back down into the 40s. Again, it's probably tomorrow morning when we start to see these clouds sort of break apart and fade away. 72 tomorrow, 79 Saturday after some morning fog. Sunday, 78, small chance of a shower or a storm. And that's going to be the case next week. Those 20% chances you see there are mainly just pop-up afternoon isolated stuff. Most of us aren't going to get anything. But we do need some rain, honestly. We did really well in January, February. Kind of went back to the whole dry situation. And we hope for a good March.
Okay, well, maybe. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed.
Thank you, Justin.
Until 47 degrees.
Let's look out with Zoo Cam on this leap day, looking at the crane cam, and you can see them at the top of your screen there. What'd you say, Alex? Oh, the two white dots, yeah, at the top of the screen.
I was like, what two white ducks?
Not ducks, dots.
Got it.
It's a great day to go to the zoo. You just need a jacket today. Welcome back. It's 9:54. So today and tomorrow are your last two chances to vote early in the Texas primary election. So polls are open until 8 p.m. each day. And according to the Bexar County Election Office, nearly 63,000 people have early voted in their primaries so far. So you can find your nearest polling location by scanning the QR code on your screen right there at the bottom, or visiting our website, KSAT.com, and clicking on the Vote 2024 section under the News tab. Election Day is Tuesday.
A reminder, President Biden and former President Trump will both be speaking later today about the crisis at the border. Biden will be in Brownsville. Trump is over in Eagle Pass. And both are expected to talk about issues at the border and how they'll deal with them. KSAT has crews in both cities, and we plan to live stream both events on KSAT.com.
Another look out there with TransGuide. RJ's been looking after this all morning. Again, you can see I-37 shut down there, and you can see cars trying to make their way over there.
So northbound's good. It's southbound that is closed. And it looks like folks are coming down the access road and able to get on just past that sign that was hit earlier this morning. Here's the problem. Not only is it completely closed southbound now, RJ was just telling us this could be closed for 6 to 8 hours as they remove that sign that was damaged earlier.
Oh, goodness, please keep that in mind if you have to travel in this area.
Hopefully they have someone at that light there, making it stay green longer so they can get the traffic through. But I don't know that. I don't know that would happen.
I don't see them. I don't see them there.
So it's going to be a big backup. All right, quick check of the forecast. A lot of clouds. 47 where we stand right now. We'll only be up around 51. So temperatures aren't going to move much today. And that's all due to the cloud cover. There could be a few sprinkles, but you don't really need an umbrella or anything like that. We're not expecting any widespread rain. 72 Friday, 79 Saturday, 78 Sunday. Good looking weekend. We will get some rain chances back in the forecast Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week, but it's just isolated stuff.
Maybe over spring break. That's sometimes how it works out.
Yeah, we'll see how the timing works out.
Okay, thanks, Justin. Thanks for joining us.
Happy late day.